Hey, how's it going, Nachos? My name is Single Player Nacho. I'm going to be starting this series where we look at the very first build of a game and then we compare that to the very final version. I'm going to be calling this Before and After. And the very first game we're going to examine is Resident Evil 7. Hey, because why not? So I actually found this video on Resident Evil-ish, so be sure to check out their YouTube channel. But right off the bat, guys, we've got an extremely creepy, cartoony version of the Bakers. Now, right next to Jack Baker is Zoe Baker. Now, we all know that Zoe Baker does not participate in the murderous practices of the Bakers, so it's really ironic to see her sitting down right next to Jack, whereas in the original, she is nowhere to be found. Up next, we're given a really special look into the cellar scene, which has probably been changed many times because I'm assuming that that's actually Andre's corpse. Now, in the final version, we don't see Andre's corpse in the cellar. We see him all the way down in the basement. Go ahead and take a peek into the cellar because you're not going to be finding any Andre corpses anywhere. Now, this next scene makes me think about how much of a loner Ethan is because we actually had a driver. We had more environments and we probably could have had a little conversation with our Uber driver. But in the final version, Ethan doesn't even use the GPS. We just sort of drive up to the Baker house like it's nothing. Now, I'm really glad that we get a peek into the combat system for the first build because this is actually Jack Baker, guys. I mean, this literally looks like the guy from Split. That guy. Now, the physics, I gotta applaud the physics here because this is really interesting. Capcom pretty much had an idea in their mind about how the bacteria would work on Jack Baker's body. As you can see, he can actually regenerate after getting his head rotated or something. Now, they also knew that they were gonna go with a weapon wheel system, so the broken shotgun would have been available right away. We also have the handgun up there, and we even had the axe, guys. We could have had that axe. Now, fast forward to the final version, and Jack Baker can pretty much die if you apply enough damage to him, but as you know, he'll just get up in a few seconds anyway. But shot. Now we're gonna head outside the Baker house, the pre-Baker house, and for whatever reason, everything's on fire. I don't know, I have no explanation for this. And then we could see a vast field, I mean a huge open space, because after playing Resident Evil 7 for a while, you start to realize there are certain boundaries, map-wise. Now, in case you missed it, there's a little car just zooming by for whatever reason. Now, I really would have loved to interact with the outside world during this whole Baker adventure. The only real vehicle we get to play around with gets destroyed in a few seconds. Now, up the field, just through a little pathway, and as you can see, the field is actually really big, we get to see pre-Zoe Baker's trailer, and who's inside? Pre-Zoe Baker. This version of Zoe Baker reminds me of a really coked out sloth for whatever reason. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this video. Fast forward in the final version, we can't even really meet Zoe Baker at the trailer. We actually see her way at the end, and then technically she dies. Spoilers. Now, perhaps the most game-changing mechanic of this entire video is the fact that Marguerite was probably supposed to be a supportive character at most. The strange pointing gesture she's doing at you, she's actually just alerting Jack Baker that you're here, and therefore Jack attacks you, not Marguerite. Could you imagine a world without Marguerite? That world would be really, really sad, and we would have no bug pussy, guys. Hashtag bug pussy. Now, seeing this entire video makes it a little bit more saddening because you have to remember the fact that Resident Evil 7 is a very, very isolated game, so you don't really interact substantially with anyone. Everyone's just trying to kill you. That's the entire game. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts. Personally, this is my shit. Like, I really like to see stuff like this. And I'm not gonna lie, I would actually play that game. I want to find like a demo of the very first build. That actually looks really interesting to play. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay single. Yeah.